the veterans compared to the Mongolian team heading into the first match of the wildcards. We talked a lot about ZXora, the experience that he brings for this team. A bright, little fun fact about him, big fan of light. That's why he called himself Bright. He's a former Raider guy, fan of light from the RSG days. Now they're going to be going up against Zeta Division, who, ever since MSC, a lot of people have been looking at significantly more.
Yeah, it's time for the resurgence of Japan, because I think last time they made M-Series was M2. It was with 10S Gaming, and then 10S Gaming Frost, and M1 and M2. So if they can become the spearheads of a Japanese comeback, the land of the rising sun finally making its way back in the global map, I think that will be very beautiful, because they were able to show some signs of MSC, still not quite good enough though.
Yeah, you're getting a beautiful look once again at our stage where our players are already set. We're going to be seeing the draft in just a bit, and I want to expand a little bit more on the legacy of Japan. And I can say this is Filipino because we were the ones that got hurt by Japan in M1 World Championship, wherein when Oh My Venus would be popping up with the SSS, the Rafaelas, and Japan just said, here's a Baksha. We straight up got countered. And I wonder if that's going to be the legacy that Japan will continue. Will they, at the very first match here at Wildcard, suddenly show up with a unique pick? It's something that shakes the meta up.
It's definitely a possibility, right? Yeah. Knowing Zeta Division, they would probably want to bring up the cheese picks up against Team Zone, who've had experiences on playing on an international stage. But Zeta, the Japan you see now versus the Japan you saw in M1, very, very different, right? They were meta makers back in the day. Here, they're flashy. They're back on the radar, aiming to reach the M-Series stage for the first time since M2, but they're super flashy, dude. 10, Junichi, those two. You play around those two, I feel like you're gonna have a team that can actually contend even in the main stage.
Yeah, it's actually accurate to say that the Japanese team plays like some of the flashiest animes that you know. It's in their playstyle.
They're absolute ninjas.
They are really good.
That's true. They were good at farming TikTok clips as well. I mean, we saw that.
Oh yeah, going around
with the Yusuf Chin. Yeah. It was a new tech. People were talking about it. Even the Indonesian streamers we see were talking about it. So yeah, let's see if that translates into the Land of Dawn and on an international stage.
Yeah. One thing I can say about Zeta though is that they have to reel it in a little bit. Because the way they play in Japan, in the Japanese qualifiers, clearly you see the team that knows they're the best in the region. That's why their mobility-focused drafts with aggressive initiations and creative rotations, they have to reel it back a bit, which is weird to say. We love to usually say, teams just play how you usually play. But you can't really apply it here on the world stage. You have to adapt and evolve.
And we saw that. We saw a glimpse of that in GOTF, right? Where they just tried to utilize the same style that got them to the M7 wildcard to qualify here in the Japanese qualifiers. And it didn't work out in GOTF when they're up against tougher teams. You need to reel it back, but you still need that confidence that got you that slot.
Yeah, and that's why it's kind of one-dimensional too for Zeta. And this is why we come to the third point. Meta-aware but unafraid to experiment. They can still kind of, go out and pull out some off-meta picks, but so far what we have seen in the previous tournaments that they are playing, that they have been playing in, seems like they're kind of straight with their options.
Wait!
Yeah, you're the only zone guy here.
Wow!
Hey, Mirko, bring out that zone jersey you just got.
Hey, listen, they gave me the jersey after I made the prediction, right?
But they didn't see it yet.
They didn't see it yet.
Okay,
they didn't see it yet, right? So I predicted Zone just because I have faith in ZXora. I have faith in a team like this with 3 rookies, with Summer as well, their coach from Mongolia. They look really good. Zeta, on the other hand, have looked okay. They've looked decent. They've looked like they can. There are definitely like glimpses of brilliance here and there, but the discipline. What you said, Redmar, they need to really dial it back sometimes with the aggression. When they have the lead, they need to understand how to utilize that lead to close out games.
Yeah, I know personally I went for Zeta here because, again, they are, on paper, the most experienced. If they're going up against the majority of the members of Zone. If it's just ZXOra's experience, and weirdly enough, ZXOra is the most experienced out of everyone here. What about you, Realize? What made you go for Zeta this time?
Well, I mean, I love rookies. I love young bloods. These are guys with, 16, 17 years of age. But again, on an international stage, they can just crumble. And I do agree with Renmar. Zeta, they might have that experience with them that might be the thing that gives them the upper hand. But I would love to see Team Zone create something explosive, shock us all with that rookie, power that they have, that young blood burning and boiling inside of them. Who knows? They might surprise us.
Yeah, and they have to. And if we're talking about explosiveness, the keyword that you mentioned here for Zone, I feel like that's one of the best ways to deal with a team that loves to be aggressive. We look at the EXP laner in Bankai. Yes, that is the EXP laner of Zone, not the EXP laner of Zeta, just to be clear here. So they have to be careful because he plays that playstyle. Big surprise setups. Arlott, Lapu, Alice, those are the type of heroes that you have to look out for when you're going up against Zone and when you're going up against Bankai. Now that we are in Flying Cloud, that adds to the point a little bit more because the EXP laners and the side laners, well, pretty much generally everyone can get back to the map faster after a big set if they end up back on the base. Welcome to the very first draft of M7 here on the wildcards, and right away we're seeing some unique strategies. Mouse getting taken away, one of the priorities in the mid, and Sora right away banned already by the Filipino coach Ola.
Yeah, that Sora will definitely be avoided by Zeta, but that Esmeralda ban though. It's a Junichi staple pick, so obviously that Esmeralda will be taken away by Zone, or rather Team Zone, to not give Junichi kind of like a good lane to play.
We've seen him do it really well, the Esmeralda on the Uranus as well here in Zeta Division. So the fact that they banned out the Lunox, they've already trapped the Zone here to actually let the Baksha open as well.
Yeah.
You remember the Baksha? You literally just mentioned it. Zeta have picked it up. I don't know if this is going to be a flex pick though, or if it'll actually just be L10, because I feel like it's a bit sad to see a guy as good as 10 mechanically be on a Baksha.
Yeah, it's still a potential flex pick that we might get confirmed in the first phase. Not yet. They're playing around the Baksha flex. They pick up the usual paired up with the Farsa, while Zone goes for the Kalea Eve combo. So that's a very clear trade that they decided to go for. I still think though that it hurts their chances a little bit more, the fact that they gave the usual.
Yeah, the picks are very, very quick. They do pick up the Eastern Shin. It's a 10 special, but yeah, I think this Eve might be quite vulnerable when you have a Yuzong up against her. Obviously with the Black Dragon form, always able to make ways to dive into the back line. That's the reason. That is also a question that kind of raises up in my head. Why did they leave the Yuzong open for Zeta to take?
Yeah, especially now that they are also going to be playing the Yisun Shin. So
Yeah.
it seems like Zone is picking the more difficult path.
That's
it's
true.
team number one. They think they really want to sort of maybe, are they limit testing themselves or their opponents? Picking a little bit more of, I want to say losing matchups. Again, just difficult. So now we're going to see the gold laners get taken away. The carry ban kind of surprises me, considering that they already have the Farsa that can deal with that carry if ever.
And also for Team Zone, they're already kind of overloaded in damage. They need some more frontliners here to just back them up.
Yeah.
Usually when you see the Eastern Shin and the Eve, it's almost an instant, alright, we're going to see Fighter Gold.
Yeah.
But with the new patch, I'm not too sure. They are banning out the Moscow and the Claude though. Two heroes with Blinks, really good against the Eve, so that's really good by Team Zone here. Lapu Lapu gets taken out. There you go. Despite the nerfs, we're still going to see the Lapu Lapu banned out. And again, could be a Lapu Lapu gold lane that we were expecting.
Yeah, still some respect, obviously. That gold lane, fighter gold lane rather, still kind of dwindling because of the fact that the War Axe has been nerfed as well. Phovius, though, will be quite a great pickup as well when you kind of want to front line, especially when you want to fight up against a Farsa. But again, the Farsa is much more mobile compared to the Eve. Sure, their ultimate properties are almost the same, but with the Farsa you have the Wings by Wings to kind of escape and have that self-peel embedded in yourself.
Yeah, and that might be the difference maker here. There's gonna have to be a lot of work put in here by this Phovius to hold the line, and I think that's why Zone decided to go for it. Phovius, as we all know, as long as the game is close, one of the best heroes you can pick up for longer engages, and I think Zone is leaning in towards that. Wow! Hayabusa and a Brody up against an even. Right away, Zone picks up the Harith.
Yo, this is risky for Zone. Pick up the Harith, considering they don't really have a lot of frontliners here, and they're already up against the Farsa. A known counter to it. Then the Baksha as well. At least we do get something that I was hoping for. 10 on Assassin. Zeta decided, alright, you know what? Let's put the Baksha, let's flex it over to Rome, and let's pick up 10 on the Hayabusa. This is also something we've been talking about in the backstage, right? Like, will Hayabusa still be Pariah? Will we still see it on the hands of different jungle users? And I said, it really comes down to how good the jungler is.
Yeah.
10 is that guy, dude. When you give him a pick like this, he still shines.
Yeah, and it seems like they've changed it up a bit. Usually the Hayabusa comes in way earlier in the draft.
Yes.
But I think they lean towards the Baksha because they want that stability at the center of the map.
That's true. The Hayabusa, though, might be a catalyst for Zeta, especially in the hands of 10. The Assassin we want to talk about, but this Yushin Shin. Will it have a good time up against the Yuzong? That's the question.
A lot of questions here, and I'm excited to see it get answered once again. Welcome to the very first match of M7 here on the Wild Cards. It's Zone versus Zeta. Who is gonna get first big win?
Let's see. Welcome to the Land of Dawn, the first match of the M7 World Championship Wild Cards. It's Zeta against Team Zone. So it's all about the zone and the division for both teams. So we'll try to take those buffs quickly. Look at the rotations from Brett. Obviously, mid-prio will still be the name of the game with the minion changes as well earlier on today.
Just controlling over Letho Wanderer as well. Here's Xora. To get it. 10 will just go for the green camp. Xora's trying to go for the steal. That's a quad shadow forward. Katsu and Kani not enjoying this Yi poke at all.
Yeah, that Eve is very, very strong still. And Hayabusa as well. We kind of want to talk about the nerfs, or rather secret buffs it kind of received, right? We talked about the Quad Shadow being kind of minimized in terms of the range, meaning it can't dive as freely as it used to. But the buff is the fact that, you know, the cooldown is much more quicker in terms of the shadow kill, and as well as the damage given with the shuriken. So I think this Hayabusa is still very much viable.
Yeah, good trade-offs. And I like how Team Zone, knowing that they had the prio up against the Bakugan, the Farsa, actually decided to go for that quick little poke battle with the Golem, but then they decided to back off when they realized that there's a chance Zeta might be able to change things around. In terms of the emblems, just to pull yourself together on that Farsa.
Exactly. On a Purified 2, Bankai, level 4.
Yeah, Katsu really wants that quick cooldown, as it is very much a dangerous lane, especially up against the Kalea, if you want that Purified to go on quickly. And the properties for Team Zone to kind of make off quickly with the Kalea is very much apparent. Now they want to get their hands, lay blame on the first objective. Kani is close by 10 as well, level 4.
Instant zoning, Quancha coming down 10. Oh, locked down by the Mountain Shocker. Xora picking up first blood and the Turtle Junichi. Now jumping over to Kenny, forcing to flicker out. It's two members locked in. Bright able to flicker out again. Bankai going all the way. Misses the ability, won't be able to jump in. Flickers out to safety and gets the regen on time.
Oh my, 1-for-1, but Team Zone will come out on top. They have their hands on the turtle, and that was Junichi looking to change the tide of the war, but Bankai
1v1. Junichi, can he do it? He's got the passive furious dive. Oh, solo kill up top.
Junichi, alright. So we talked about the explosiveness of Bankai, but the Zeta Division has some explosiveness as well on their side. So now Team Zone still constantly applying the pressure towards the orange side.
That's gonna be an assault. Oh, actually, Xora's caught here. Not enough peel. Boy, Minette finds a shutdown. And look at the follow-up. Right, able to flicker out. The RWM is doing a bit more damage here, but Kay can't really go for the siege on a Harith.
Not the cleanest rotations that we're seeing here, or decisions for both teams. Up until, of course, Xora decided to go for that dab. I think that was a heat check for him. Now, he has to reel it back just a little bit.
Another thing about the rookies is the fact that they can really go fast.
Yeah. They can go fast. They can also be punished very fast.
That's my point. When you have the lead, you play confident. But then, if you go overboard, this is the things that's going to happen. They might crumble, but so far they're not crumbling because of the shakiness or the nervousness. It's because they can't really control themselves. Someone needs to keep them in check.
Junichi, though, seems like he is currently the anchor for Zeta Division right now. And it seems like Katsu and Kani are catching up to his rotation and aggressions. So they're going to need to be able to continue that. While Team Zone still has control in the map here, what next does Zeta Division have to do so they can get a little bit more of a taste of the map control that Team Zone has more of?
Yeah, they need to farm more, prepare themselves for a fight, and maybe utilize Junichi to open up the choke points in the map, because so far he is, like you said, the anchor of Zeta Division. He can fight, he can 1v2, possibly 1v3 as well, stall some time, buy some time, and then let the Brody farm more. Take a look at the swap in the lanes that they have made, and look at where Zeta Division is right now. They're pretty confident, taking control of that orange side jungle, and this kind of establishes some sort of control towards the second objective in the turtle.
Actually, becomes the Dark Wave already forced to use revitalize now. Black Dragon form already. That's the Tsunami's famine in answer to it, but they already been caught in it. Kenny is able to dish out damage. Here's down the petrify in the backline by Junichi, but look at Kay doing a heck of a lot of damage with his on force. Not moving Minette, putting the stacks down, but will get bursted. But Kai, together with Kenny, gets another, and they're all zoned away. 10 with a jump, but Xora stays true to the red tree. Perfect 3 turtles on for Team Zone as Boy Minette gets bonked by Bankai.
A Hail Mary play made by 10. TP back and get the turtle, but it's all down in vain. Team Zone, their blood's boiling, and their trigger fingers are happily shooting at Zeta Division.
Okay, just looked like he had a grand old time in that last engagement, especially since he's playing under his own team's real-world manipulation, and without Katsu's feathered airstrike, that Harith is going to be free for most of the time. Even if he gets caught by a petrified Furious Dive, he'll still be able to recover through that as long as he has his Zaman Force and he can freely hit. ZETA needs to recalibrate their team fighting and make sure that they put more difficulty for a Harith that will just run wild on them.
Good reaction there. RWF who locks him down, zones them away, and look who's isolated. Connie all alone. Zexora with the dive in the back, the mountain shocker, and now on Katsu almost finding a fadeaway. Not even the fighter can survive this damage.
He is playing like a man possessed. Look at him go completely out of this world. Too confident for ZETA Division to handle, and look at Team Zone, 12 kills. The second tier turret in minute number 8. This is getting out of control for ZETA Division.
Team Zone, and it's actually the YSF zoning the rest of the opponents.
They got zoned for sure.
That is insane. 6-2 and 5. This Yi Sun Shin, he's single-handedly making some really great individual decisions. That's just great for the whole team, and ZETA's just struggling.
Yep, the Black Dragon form was baited out. Junichi, I guess he was trying to predict a dive into the turret, but now it's all of the Holy Shields that were up, down. Up top, it's not taken down yet. They still have to get a tier 2.
We talked about ZETA Division's kind of win con is to kind of dive quickly, especially with the Black Dragon form. But we forgot that the RWF of the Eve is some sort of appeal tool as well.
Yes.
To enable the Harith to move and bob and weave left and right to get the damage going. We talked about Team Zone not having enough frontliners, but their peel in a way, damage peeling, right? You have Yi Sun Shin in and of itself is kind of peeling for the team too, especially when he's just gunning around with the Mountain Shocker too, and the Eve is just untouchable. 3-0 and 8. That RWF is zoning ZETA Division so far away in the back, not even Junichi can reach Kenny.
Yeah, ZETA Division will not be able to contest this Lord, while 10 tries to recover a little bit of map space here for the team by split pushing up top. Now, Team Zone, honestly, if they can continue to bait out the early Furious Dive Petrifies, they're going to be good, because that's ZETA Division's main tool of, as you mentioned, realize the field, that crowd control, AoE, that now, as we have seen it, a lot of times Team Zone actually just has way more of. There's too many AoE crowd control effects for ZETA to deal with, while ZETA really mainly only has that Yu Zhong combo.
This is why we don't really see the Baksha in Rome as often anymore, right? You just really lack the CC. You have to make up for the lack of CC in the late game, lack of sustainability when you're behind with early tempo, and they haven't done that. They're 9,000 gold behind.
This might just be game over. Another strike opened, and Team Zone, they want to switch to the base.
Oh, Brad really wants to go for Junichi. He's able to find it, but Mountain Shocker goes to the right side. Doesn't matter. K still bursts them all. Holy crystal pickup. 10 with the walk up, but gets instantly shoulder bash as they go for the siege of the bottom lane. 10 will fall. K goes for the triple. It's a big dark wave from Bankai. A double, a triple, and that's game 1.
ZETA Division divided with a zone created by the Mongolian team. They are playing perfect MLBB as they strike first with this best of 3.
Yep, that was clean. I mean, the initial problems I had with them giving away the Yu Zhong, yeah, you saw the Yu Zhong did become the anchor, but really just they could not do much. The Baksha Rome has to be revisited here by ZETA as a priority. And I know they wanted to do that because it seems like they really wanted to set up for a more comfortable jungle pick. But even if, like, to say, get a comfort, if the Rome is uncomfortable, if the Rome can barely hold the front line because he's just constantly getting poked down, then no matter what pick you end up with, your jungle and your team will struggle. Well, let's look at Zone. It's not like they did almost everything perfectly in that game. Wasn't the perfect game, but it was close to it.
Almost threw it away, you know?
Yeah.
Again, trigger
times.
trigger happy players, but
K and Bankai.
Bankai. And Zexora too, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
The captain. But it's all good. It's all good. I think they were limit testing, right? They were trying to go far and test how in a way ZETA might kind of come back in the game, but yeah, they made it happen. They made it loud and clear that they are here to battle it out, and there was nothing that ZETA could do about all of this snowball happening in Team Zone.
I really like that specific play by Bright. He flickered right in front of Kani, and I thought he would pull the trigger on ultimate right away, but he said, no, that's not the guy I need to get. I need to get the Yu Zhong.
Yeah.
So he took a couple of steps, and then used the Tsunami Slam onto Yuzhong, and just as expected, without it, Zeta really didn't have a team fight to go with. And I think, now looking back, ZXora and the very eager plays that he was making from time to time, I think he knew that even if he went down, he still had a Harith and an Eve to cover for him in terms of the damage.
Yeah, there's always going to be a backup, right? I mean, the backup might be the main source of damage at that point. Like, Zexora might have just been trying to bait out as many abilities as possible. Just because, again, for Zeta Division, they don't have enough CC. Like, they only have a Petrify and a Furious Eye. That's the most reliable form of CC. And I don't want to